Hi, everyone. Welcome to another session of Taking the Fear Out of Canvas. So, this is day 3, and today we are going to take a look at announcements. We're going to take a look at the rich content editor and prepare for putting our assignments into Canvas. So, let's go ahead and get started. There were a couple of things that I wanted to remind you about. So, the first one is that each day you will get a new SMORE newsletter. And in that newsletter, you have the live help Zoom links. Those are only good for the day the newsletter was released. So today, you need to go into day number 3 where you get this video, and the live help links will be only available for today. Something else that I wanted to talk to you about was somebody had asked a question about when you're on your tiles in your dashboard, how do you get rid of that overlay color? So let me show you really quick. So up here in your title, you have dashboard. You're going to click on these 3 dots, and this is going to bring you up some options and some different ways that you can display your dashboard. I'm not going to go through those with you. You can go through them if you want. I do believe that for beginners, this is the best display view. But if you come down here to color overlay, if I click on that, then it gives me that option for color overlays. If you don't like that look, just go ahead and come back and you can uncheck that box. And now you are rid of your color overlays on your tiles. So pretty simple. Okay. The next thing that I wanted to talk to you about was in your Sandbox course. So let's go ahead. I'm going to head down to mine. I'm going to open my Sandbox course. And inside my Sandbox, again, in your course navigation bar, we talked about several of these, but the one I want to draw your attention to today is on people. So if you click on people, this is going to give you a list of people who are enrolled in this class. And so if you're looking at the tile that was created through Skyward, you will see your students listed here, and you will also be listed here as the teacher, and you can see what the role is. I wanted to chat with you just a little bit about a feature that you can do in Canvas, and that is by adding multiple people into your class. And so if you wanted to have a co-teacher, or if you wanted to invite the other teachers in your grade level to be a part of your class, if you wanted to invite the music teacher to be a part of your class and to bring the music content right into your class, you can do that. And it would be important, though, that the other teachers have particular roles assigned to them within your class. So let me show you what that looks like. On the right-hand side, you can add people. And when you click on this, it's going to ask you to add somebody's email address. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll use Niall as an example. So I'm going to add Niall. And so I need to type in his full email address. And again, these are for people that you're adding into your class, not students who are pushed in through Skyward. These are just additional people. Down below here, you're going to see there's an option for roles. So when I click on this, there's several different ones. I just want to walk you through these really quick. So a teacher has the full rights that you have. They can grade papers, they can change student grades, they can add content, they can delete content. Everything, the same things that you can do. If you put this person in with that role, they would be able to do the same things. A TA, this is going to be somebody like a student TA in high school where you want them to be able to maybe add some grades or do some things like that. Support staff, this is going to be this is a role where like paraprofessionals can come in and they might be able to see students who they're supporting. They can look at the grades, they can look at the assignments, but they can't really make any changes. And then an observer, this is somebody who can do nothing except look, and even that is very selective what they can do within your class. So kind of knowing those roles, I think, is really important. So I'm going to go ahead, though, and add Niall as a teacher, because then he can have access to the same content. If you work with a special education teacher who has students in your class, it might be a really great idea to enroll them as a teacher as well, so that they can come in and maybe they can make modifications to assignments for their students, different things like that. So I think that having the option of adding people is really important. And then down at the bottom, we're going to go ahead and we're going to go to next. And it's kind of hidden by my picture here, but this is where you are going to click on the blue box again. This is essentially the save button. So I'm going to go ahead and add Niall, and then it will pop up with a pending notification. And that pending notification, he needs to accept his role in the class before he's officially joined. And so the next time Niall comes into his Canvas account, he'll have a little message at the top, and it will say, you've been invited to this class, so he can accept that. Also, if you have your settings set up to email, he'll be notified by email. So there's several ways you can do that. But please don't underestimate the power of being able to add people into your class. Let's say, in fact, today I'll give you an example. I had a school reach out to me today because they have someone who is sick and is not going to be able to monitor their classes for a little while, and they need to be able to push assignments out. And so I went in and added some other teachers into that person's class so that those teachers, they can take over the role of this person as a teacher while he is out sick. So anyway, just really important. And again, that's in the People tab, and you can come on in here and add people, and then you can look, you can search for people in here and then add them. So I'm going to pause for just a minute because I want you to practice. Just again, this is your sandbox class, so just practice adding somebody, a co-teacher or somebody else who you know is taking this, so that you can go through that process and you can see what that looks like. And we'll be back in just a moment. Welcome back. Okay, now that we know how to add people into our Canvas courses, let's head back to our dashboard. Okay, and once we're in our dashboard, I would like to again draw your attention to the different icons in our tiles. And I had some people ask a couple of questions, such as, I don't see the icon that has appeared in my tile. So you can see this one doesn't have any icons, whereas mine has several. These are based on what you have available for students to be able to see. So I have posted an announcement, and so that's why you can see the magnifier here. This class, I have not posted any announcements, and so you won't see that there. So only when you see the magnifier here, does this mean that there's an announcement that a child can come in and look at. I would suggest when you're starting to get your students ready to use this, that you just get them used to, if you see that icon on your class, click on it so that they can have immediate access to those announcements. And so this brings me right into my announcement page of my class, and then the student can go ahead and take a look at those. If the student was just in the class, let's go ahead and head home. I want to show you what this is going to look like from a student view when they click on the announcement. So from a student view, if they come into your class and they click on the announcements, you will see that they have options here so that they can come in and they can click on the different announcements so they can see what those are. And I added some videos and some different things in here so they're able to see that. Let's go ahead and head home as my student again. And I also want to draw your attention that these announcements now fall under the to-do list as well. So it's pretty hard for a student to miss those announcements. And the power of announcements, I don't want you to underestimate that, because there's a lot of things. I'm going to go ahead and leave my student view. There's a lot of things that you can do by creating an announcement. So let's talk through a couple of things, and then I'm sure you have some great ideas. But if students were just coming into Canvas for the day and they come up to your class and they see an announcement and they click on that, that could be an announcement that you change every day. Maybe it's welcoming your students to class that day. Maybe it's, here's your instructions for your work for the day, so that you are walking them through verbally what you're going to ask them to do, so that they're hearing it, and then they go into your class and they're also able to see it. So several different things that you can do. And I think I mentioned in yesterday's video that the other thing that you can do also is put a video into here where you're giving them some background information about the learning that's about to happen. You could brighten their day and put a funny video or something in every day, so that, or tell them a joke. So just to kind of, get them like, oh, okay, I'm ready to learn today now. So announcement can be a really handy tool. So let me show you how we can create these. Let's go ahead and head into our class, and you will notice when you get into your sandbox class that you have an icon over here for announcements. let's go ahead and head over to there. And as you can see, I have posted 3 already, and these were quick and easy to post. In Canvas, when you start posting information, it usually will fall into a nice little file system like this for you. And once you start getting a lot of them, you can choose to delete these announcements. Over here, you can click delete, you can get rid of them. So if you want to daily get rid of them, if you want to hang on to them, you can search for them in here if you have a special naming convention that you're using to keep your announcements so you keep them all. I suppose in particular if you're adding videos and want to use them again into the next year. Now, another feature that I want to show you over here, again, anytime you see these 3 little dots, that's telling you that there's more information or more features, that you can also allow comments. And so by turning this on, this means that students, when they come in, they can reply back to something that you say. So if you want to start them off with a question, an interactive question, and you want students to be able to respond to each other and see each other's comments, you can also do that. So that can be either turned on or off, whichever way you want to go with those. So those are kind of some features of the announcements. Let's head up and let's create a new announcement. So we're going to click on the add announcement. And now you're going to put a topic title. So it's Wednesday, even though I think it's actually Tuesday. Okay, so it's Wednesday. Now, this is an area that you can work in, and anywhere in Canvas where you're adding any kind of content, you're going to find a little box like this. On the top, you're going to see this little toolbar, and it probably looks similar to things you've seen before. So you'll find toolbars like this above a Google Doc, or if you're working in a Microsoft Word or something like that. These are tools to help you add content into whatever it is that you're posting for your students. So I'm going to walk you through a couple of those features. I'm going to walk you through, and then I'm going to give you some time to practice, and then I'll walk you through some more. So this is one of the most important things for you to learn right now in Canvas before we start adding assignments and before we start adding other content. So, so make sure you're practicing this really well and that you feel really comfortable using the features on this rich content editor before you finish this video today. The first thing I want to draw your attention to is if you look here, you're going to see this is the size of your font. I would encourage you not to use that. For accessibility reasons to the information within your Canvas, I would encourage you to use these headings. The reason for this is because these are created so that screen readers, they can easily read the information that you post in here. So if you're using these heading features, let's see, then a screen reader, when it comes through, it's going to be able to read it. It's not going to be as guaranteed of the correct accessibility if you use these different font sizes. So that's just a little bit of a hint for you. Okay, so you're going to go ahead and that's how you would add your different headings and things. You'll notice that you have these text features that you're totally familiar with, so I'm going to skip right on over those. And then you have different, if you want to add bullet points or indent, any of those kind of things. If you want to add a link, this is the tool to add a link. So you can add an external link. So if you wanted to link a page, you could copy that link, click on this, and then it will give you what text you want to display and what's your link. And then you can add that in. Also under the links, you can post course links here. Let me just explain what the power of this might be just for a minute. So if you have young students and you're concerned about them getting lost within Canvas, if you create an announcement and the students know to click on the little announcement icon and it takes them right out here to the announcement page, and then there's several icons embedded into here, your course links can be embedded into those. And so if you embed a course link into an icon here, the student knows if they click on the math icon, that's going to take them right to their math assignment. And then they just come back to their announcement and they can click on maybe a science link, and that will take them out to their science work for the day. So everything kind of is housed into an announcement, which is really easy for young students in particular to find from the tile box. So that's just kind of food for thought. We haven't gotten to posting assignments or anything like that yet, but I just wanted to put that seed, plant that seed just a little bit so that tomorrow and the next day when we start looking at assignments, you're kind of thinking about that a little bit. So what I would like for you to do is to go ahead and head out online somewhere. So I'm going to head right out here to our Canvas S'more newsletter for the day. I'm going to go ahead and grab that link, and then I am going to embed it. So today's newsletter, and then let's post the link, copy, and then Command C, and then Command V or Control C, Control V. All right, and then once that's in there, it's hidden underneath my picture, so I'm not going to post it, but you would go ahead and save that, and then that is going to insert a link right here into your announcement box. So why don't you take just a couple minutes and practice adding some different paragraph headings and see what the different sizes and what the different fonts would look like. You can make a few of these changes, but then practice also adding an external link. And I'll see you back here in about 2 minutes. All right, welcome back. So now that you know how to insert links within your announcement box, let's go ahead and move on through our different options here. So the next one over is an image. And so you have several options here. The one you'll use the most probably will be the upload image. And this is going to give you several options. If you're on a computer, you can upload it from there. If you have a URL and have a copyright free picture with a URL, you can add it that way. Or I really like this about Canvases. They do give you some options so that you can hop on in and you can get some free images that you don't have to worry about trying to figure out if they're copyrighted or not. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this little cat, and I'm going to submit that. And it added the cat in here to my announcements. Now, probably adding a picture into an announcement is probably not the smartest thing to do when you're doing announcements. It is much better. It's much better if you were to do that in an assignment page or something like that. Anyway, now I created a big old box for myself. But so that just gives you some ideas for practicing adding images though. And again, this is the same tool that you're going to use for when you add any kind of content into anything of Canvas. Okay, let's move over to the next one. Now, this is uploading documents. This is if you're using a computer. Let's say you had a Microsoft Word document you wanted to upload, or you had a PDF file. You'd go ahead and click this, and this is going to give you some options for uploading that file from your computer. If you are interested in adding a Google Doc, we'll get to that in just a minute. Okay, so you also have access to all your course documents and whatnot. We're not going to worry too much about that today. So the next one over, let's go ahead and let's create a table. And so when I create a table, this is much like Google where you can drag and drop, so you can make it whatever size you want. And then once it's there, you can add your table, and then you have lots of options. You can add in text, you can add in images. So now if I wanted to go back to my images and I wanted to add an image in there, copy paste things, lots and lots of options that you can do when you're putting a table in. The next thing, if you teach math, this is a pretty phenomenal tool. So within here, there are a lot of math equation symbols. You can create all sorts of things. You can see you have several tabs across the top if you want to put in symbols, etc. So you can play around with that just a little bit and see if there's anything in there that you want to do. And then you can type your work in right here, insert your equation, and it's going to add it into the spot where you had it. So if you were putting it in a table or you just were adding text into here. Okay, and so those are some other features. Adding an image, uploading a document, if you have a syllabus, something like that. I don't know that you'd put that in an announcement, but if you are working in an assignment or on your homepage, and then adding a table. Okay, the last thing that I want to show you, and this is the one that you probably use the most over here, this little I'm not sure, I kind of call it my power outlet because it looks like a power cord. I'm going to go ahead and click on that, and these are your apps. And so within anything Canvas, you have the ability to insert different types of things from apps. This is where if you wanted to insert a Google document, you would click on here and it is going to access your Google account. So remember at the beginning when we set up your profile and we made sure and connected your Google account to your Canvas account, that's so that you can bring in information from your Google Drive into Canvas. And you're the only one that has access to this. Students only have access to theirs unless they share it with you when they submit an assignment. So anyway, you could look through here and you could take a look, select something, and then you can go ahead and add it in. I'm not going to add something right now because it's probably too big to add right in here. Whoops. Okay, so now what I would like for you to do, again, pause one more time, and then I want you to practice with those tools that I just showed you, and you can practice pulling up your Google Apps. And then when I come back, I'm going to show you how to add that video from your Studio tool into an announcement. So we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. The next thing I want to show you is how we can add an announcement with a video. And so we're going to save this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and head down to the bottom, and I'm going to cancel out this one. So I'm not really interested in keeping my working one. Now I'm going to add a real one this time. And so let's go ahead. We're going to call this one Good Morning. And this time I want to add one of those videos. Remember we talked yesterday about your Studio tool over here in the global navigation bar? I want to add that video. So you practiced and you created one or two videos, or you brought something in from YouTube. Let's add that into an announcement right now. So over here in your little power plug, you're going to go ahead and click on this, and Arc is the same thing as Studio. So just look for the little symbol. It used to be called Arc. They changed it to Studio, but now on the back end of things, they haven't changed that over. So when you see Arc, think Studio, think video, it's the same thing. I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And this is going to open up for me my uploads. This is where in my global navigation bar, this is where I have all my videos stored. And I can go ahead and run through here and select the video that I want. So let's say today we're talking about To Kill a Mockingbird, and I want the students to watch a little selection of that just to kind of get them ready to talk about it. I'm going to go ahead and select that. And now it is going to give me some options. One of them being, do I want to allow comments or not? I think in this time I'm not going to allow those comments. And then down below, again, my bar is hidden, but click on the blue, and that is going to embed it. And now you'll see that I have inserted that video into my announcement. If I wanted to type some text around it, I could type some text around it. Let's come down here. I'm going to head up to my paragraph. Let's go for heading number 3. And please watch this video and be ready to discuss. Okay, or whatever you want to go ahead and add. So I'm going to add that text into there. Now let me show you a couple of things about saving these, about saving your announcements. So sections, that's just a term in Canvas. You can create sections within a course, so we're just going to ignore that, leave it as it is. Some of your options over here though, if you want to put in some announcements for the week, you can delay your posting. So if you click that, it's going to give you some options for when to turn it on. If you want users to comment to your announcement, you can turn that on here. And there's a couple other ones if you want them to like it or whatever. And then once you have made your selections, you can go ahead and save. And now we have created that in our announcements. If you want to come back, you forgot to edit something, you can come back here and edit it. And again, the 3 little dots, those are going to give you some other options. So if you want to delete that. Okay, let's head over to announcements. This is where all of your announcements are housed. And you can see it posts the most recent one up on top and all the way down to the oldest one. I'm going to go ahead and again click on these 3 little dots. So it's going to give me those options again. If I'm finished with it and I'm ready to delete it, I can just go ahead and delete that. Or I know it's ready for my students to be able to view. So let's go ahead and go back to our dashboard. And this is my Deanne course. I'm going to go ahead and click on this little megaphone, and it brings me out to my announcements. I'm going to go home, and let's impersonate a student. This is our little ghost student. So let's be a ghost student. And when I click on the ghost student view, now I can see what this is going to look like. So you can see that they have the announcements over here, or I can click over here on the announcements. And here's my good morning. If I click on that, there's my announcement for the student. And as a student, I can go ahead and I can start playing this right away. Thank you. Now will you identify? And here's my instructions for what I can do. So anyway, there you go. That's how we would add, let me leave a student view. That's how we would add one of our studio videos that we created into an announcement for our students. So I would like for you, let me go through it one more quick time, and then I would like for you to give that a try. So I'm going to head over to announcements. I'm going to add an announcement. And then I'm going to go over here to my power plug. And I'm going to grab ARC. ARC is the same thing as the studio video. It's going to automatically pull up my videos for me. I can go ahead and select one. I'm going to click my blue add button. And this is going to embed that video right into my announcement. I'm going to head on down to the bottom. And I'm going to make sure if I want to choose any options, I choose those. And then I'm going to go ahead and save. And now I have embedded that video into my announcement, or if you want to call this your morning announcement each day. So that's how you would embed a studio video into an announcement. Okay, and I would like for you to give that a try, please. And then I'm going to just finish off your assignment. So please give that a try today. The other piece I want to show you is that within the newsletter that you got today, if you look down below, you're going to see that there is an offline and online STEM activity chart from Vivify. I would like for you, as part of your assignment today, to go ahead and open that up. And as you scroll through, you're going to see there's some table of contents, but here's some STEM activities that this company has chosen that would be great for students to do at home. So as you're thinking about the upcoming weeks and what kind of work that you can post for your students to do, please take a moment to think about what are some things you can do to get them involved with STEM, but also to get them away from the computer. And these are some really great activities. They have online, but they also have offline learning. And so you'll see that with the no Wi-Fi symbol there on the pages. So scroll through, there's several different grade levels all the way up through high school in here. And so take a look and find your grade level. And what I would like for you to do is look through some of the activities and find a couple of activities that you think you would like to post for your students. And then in that Google Doc that you created, I'm probably not going to even be able to find mine right now, but in that Google Doc that you created yesterday to house the work for our class, if you would please go ahead and write down, here are 3 or 4 STEM activities that I would like to include for my students to do while they're at home, and add those STEM activities in there. All right, and that is all we have for today. So again, remember, Niall is going to have live help sessions from 1 to 1:45, from 2 to 2:45, and you'll find those links in the newsletter right underneath this video. And I will look forward to seeing you more tomorrow. Have a really great day. Bye-bye.